Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast, and welcome to episode number 9. Can you believe it's number 9?
Number 9, almost double digits, man.
I'm one of your hosts, Charles, and I am with the best beard in Memphis, the keeper of the geese, and the grand marshal of the parking lot race crew in Memphis, the one and only Mick. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Specialized every time. I love those intros. They never get old, man. Yeah, double digits next pod right after Thanksgiving. I'm excited.
Can you believe it?
Man.
For a podcast that started 2 months ago, and we were going to do 1 or 2 a month, and now we're getting ready for number 10. Dang.
Yeah, we're overachievers, man. That's what we do.
Either that or we're a bunch of liars.
Maybe. Yeah, man. Excited and having fun, man. I actually look forward to this every time we do one. Just hanging out with you and getting to know about our guests, man. It's a great time.
We do have a really good guest.
Oh, we do have a great guest. Cannot wait. Before I forget, Mr. 2000 will get his stuff tomorrow. I reached out to him, and little did we know, this guy has 80,000 followers on TikTok, and he said he's going to post a bunch of shit for us once the box comes in. So that's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So pretty excited about it.
So anything new with you this week?
Not much, man. Working a lot, staying busy. Got to make sure I keep my Thursday evenings free, got to keep this rolling. But other than that, been working a lot and ready for the damn weekend. How about yourself?
It looks like you're enjoying some cooler weather.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it. I was gonna go to Devin's house tonight, but he had to work late, so here I am in 3 layers and a beanie. So hey, man, we'll make it work.
I'm outside as well, and it may look like I'm inside, but this is an outside structure, so it is currently 39 degrees. Wow. It's cold.
It's about the same here.
So a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I guess I should say, we kind of put it out there, and we made a joke about it with Belladama about doing Hatpalooza, an event where we try to link up and do something with different cigar, whiskey, or lifestyle brands to where if they send in a hat, I'll put the hat on. If they send in 2, I will give one away, and we'll rep the brand for the night and just have a fun time with it. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. As an extreme hat lover, I thought it would just be a great way to, 1, connect with different brands, and 2, great way to connect with people who are listening. So I didn't realize it was going to pick up like it did. We have 3 or 4 hats. We have 2 here, 3 here. We have 2 or 3 on the way, and we literally have people who have reached out and said, hey, we're going to get back to you. We love the idea. This is going to be fun. So guess what?
Man.
Tonight, as you can see, I'm repping our guest tonight. By the way, he hit the right one. Kentucky Blue and White. Awesome. Love my lure hat. This is the one cigar, one of the cigar brand hats that I keep here at the house instead of in my office on the wall. But tonight, I'll take that off for a second. We have I have this hat from Belladama. It's the Players Club hat. But she also sent a second one with the Belladama logo on it. So this is the one that will go on Instagram next week. We'll run it, probably maybe starting the weekend, but we'll run it for a couple of days, and we'll do, some whatever kind of entry things to give it away, and we'll give it away to anybody, who wins. So Belladama, Thank you very much. And if you want to check them out, go to BelladamaCigars.com or on Instagram at BelladamaCigars. But huge thanks to Belladama for being the first one. And she said, hey, I'm going to be the first one who sends you a hat. And I'll be damned if she wasn't the first one to send out a hat.
Less than a week and you have it in your possession. That's she said she was a shipping Nazi. So I guess she's not lying.
No, in less than a week, I have 3 in my possession. I have 3 cigar brand or accessory hats in my possession. So we know that we got this going for the next 3 weeks. We know that.
It is just like everything else we've done since we started this, and a little pat in the back to all of us, I guess, here. But man, like everything has just taken off way more than either of us ever expected to. And it's kind of hard to keep up with, but it has been a great ride so far, man. I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
It's absolutely insane. By the way, we do have some giveaways tonight as well. I did post a picture on Instagram. Boveda really liked the spot that when we were talking about it with Cigars with M, and they really appreciated, the honest feedback. And, it wasn't like we were doing a spot for them or doing a commercial for them. We were honestly just talking about, our enjoyment and what we appreciate about what Boveda does, and got a package from Boveda in the mail, and they gave us 5 all-in-one humidor setup kits. So it has like the 80 plus humidification pack. It has the 70 plus humidification pack, all the instructions on how to get a humidor set up. But for the next 5 weeks, we'll be giving away one of those. So we have one that we're giving away tonight. We'll do that on its own. We do have some products from Beard Apothecary. Whoever wins that tonight will get to pick either a beard oil or a car diffuser. And Lou, who is our guest tonight, came on tonight for our pre-meeting and said that he will be throwing in a couple of 5-packs and maybe a hat, since we're doing Hat Palooza. So he'll be giving away a couple of items like that. So we may have 4 or 5 giveaways tonight. And how do you enter that? Go to YouTube. In the comments, type in #RealSmoke. So we'll actually have that in a scroll bar here in a second once I update it. But go to YouTube, in the comments, type in #RealSmoke. So
yeah, we can't thank our guests enough for jumping in like this, helping us out and us helping you out. It's a cigar community. That's what everybody does, and we greatly appreciate the support. And it's so cool to be able to give away cool shit every week. It's been an amazing ride. I keep saying that, man, but it's been awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, the community has accepted the Real Smoke podcast like no other, and I absolutely appreciate everybody. So, ready to jump into cigar news?
Let's do it.
All righty. So, real quickly, cigar news this portion is brought to you by Cigar Public. Go to cigarpublic.com to find cigar industry news, cigar reviews, and whiskey articles, and so much more. You can find them at cigarpublic.com or on Instagram at cigarpublic. So our first story, we actually have 2 from the same brand today, but our first story is J.C. Newman introduces the Personal Reserve Program. The oldest American cigar company has announced the new bespoke cigar program just in time for the holiday giving season. J.C. Newman Cigar Co. has dubbed this new project the Personal Reserve Program. This is the ultimate holiday gift for the cigar aficionado, said 4th-generation owner Drew Newman. As cigar makers, it's a privilege and a pleasure to create new blends using the best tobaccos in the world. I've met so many wonderful people, passionate cigar enthusiasts, and I want to offer them the opportunity to do the same. J.C. Newman has curated a selection of 24 world-class cigar tobaccos grown in 9 different countries from its tobacco library. Cigar connoisseurs can use them to create millions of unique cigar blends. Custom blended cigars are offered in a package of 4 personalized leather cabinet humidors containing a total of 80 custom cigars for a total price of $2,400. Cigars rolled with a staff blend are available and a personalized leather cabinet humidor containing 20 cigars with custom bands for $500. That's interesting.
It sounds cool as shit. If my kids are listening, I still need a Christmas present. I'm just saying, it's a little salty, man, but it's a really cool idea. I love it.
I mean, the cheaper one's only $500. I mean,
Yeah.
What's $500 for a kid to say, I love you, Dad? I mean, by the way, if my kids are listening, just ears open. Wait, my two oldest one can listen. My youngest one better not be. But if you guys are listening, you know what to do. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it cool basically idea. It's turning you into a master, not a master blender, a recreational blender, maybe.
Yeah. It's a great idea. I just man, I'd have a hard time pulling the trigger on something that you don't know exactly what you're getting into, but it's a really, really cool idea.
I think it'd be a good experience if you were, I would pay the $2,500 if I got, a day or 2 days or 3 days at the J.C. Newman factory with a blender, and it was with me and 10 of my buddies, and we were blending cigars there and learning about it. Yeah, that would be worth it. But you're going to give me a bunch of stuff to learn how to blend on my own. Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, not a great idea.
Saying. Not a great idea. All right, let's go into the next one. This is another story from J.C. Newman, and the reason I picked this one is this is my absolute favorite cigar from J.C. Newman, the Yagua. J.C. Newman ships the last of the Yagua for 2024. This week, J.C. Newman Cigar Co. is shipping the final release of the year of its famous Yagua cigar. A total of 1,850 boxes of Yagua are being shipped to almost 500 cigar retailers in 46 states. It continues to shock me that Yagua has developed a cult-like following, said Drew Newman. I didn't make Yagua to sell. In fact, I didn't think that cigars enthusiasts would like the Yagua because it breaks all of the cigar making rules. Yagua is a misshapen, unattractive cigar. We roll it with unfermented tobacco, and no two Yagua are alike. That's why I absolutely love the Yagua. I'm just saying. Cool. Literally, when they say no two are alike, you can open up a package of Yaguas, and it literally looks like 20 different cigars.
Wow. I honestly don't think I've ever had it. That's kind of surprising. I've had a bunch of J.C. Newman, but I don't think I've ever had that specifically.
It's delicious.
Okay.
It says Yagua is a recreation of a farm-rolled cigar that the general manager of the J.C. Newman Pinza factory in Nicaragua makes. He remembers his grandfather making the cigar at his family's tobacco farm in Cuba in the 1940s. So there's a lot more to this story on cigarpublic.com. So jump on there and read that one. It gives a little bit of history about, the Yagua. But if you are a fan of the Yaguas, if your store's a Yagua seller, a distributor, there'll be the last little bit for the year is going to be coming in. So jump all over that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So one more story really quickly before we bring our guest on. Raíces Cubana unveils a new brand and products. In Denali, Honduras, Raíces, a distinguished name in the world of cigars, is proud to announce the launch of its new brand and products. With decades of tradition, expertise, Raíces continues to honor its rich Cuban roots, guided by the exceptional insights of award-winning craftsmanship with Ralph Montero. Founded in May 5th, 2003 by, I can't pronounce this name, Ramey Edmundo? I can't do it. And his wife, Maria. Yeah, I'm bad with this. And their sons, Hugo and Raíces. Raíces Cubanas has built a reputation for producing award-winning blends that combine heritage and innovation. The factory's dedication to crafting premium cigars has earned it a place among the finest in the industry, appealing to aficionados of all taste. So they have the new brand is going to have a, let's see, Ralph and Hugo are excited to introduce the new lineup of cigars catered to a diverse preferences. You have the Classico, which leans toward a mild to medium strength. It doesn't shy away from delivering a richly satisfying flavor profile, making this cigar a perfect choice for those seeking both elegance and depth in their smoke. The Liga de Reyes, crafted with sophistication, this cigar offers a complex medley of flavors born from a masterful combination of 7 distinct tobacco leaves. They have the C5, which inspired by El Corte Cinco, the 5th priming of leaves from the tobacco plant. This cigar has a rich, full-bodied character and both intense and captivating. And the GRD3, the Grand D3, a collection of 3 distinct cigars that elevate the large ring gauge experience and delivers a smooth, medium-bodied flavor, perfect for any moment. So that is the new brand that they've got coming up. So not too bad. I look forward to trying something from them.
Yeah, and lucky for both of us, we have Lou Cross on tonight, and that's a lot easier to say than that name you just tried to pronounce.
You know, I literally tried to pronounce that thing about 22 times today, and at the end of it, I just said, fuck it. I'm going to go for it, and however it comes out, it comes out. So, I mean, Lord, I know. I live in the Appalachian Mountains. I know I'm hillbilly, and it just showed every bit of it right there.
I don't think I'd have done any better, brother. Any better. I truly my one of my favorite moments in a while. That was beautiful. That's got to be a clip. Okay, maybe not.
No, yeah.
The company won't like it.
No, that would be yeah. The company will be like, hate these guys. Let's shut them down. So let's go ahead and move on into the cigar that we're smoking. Are you ready for that one? Have you lit one up yet?
I have, yes, sir. I'm rocking and rolling over here. Love this thing.
I always keep saying I don't need to light mine up until I get through the first part of the show because it's done gone out. So damn. But anyways, tonight we are talking about Lure Cigars. So the cigar for tonight is brought to you by Beard Apothecary. Beard Apothecary is a small business dedicated to crafting high-quality beard care products made in small batches to ensure freshness and attention to detail. Proper beard care is essential for maintaining a healthy, well-groomed beard, and using only premium butters and oils is crucial. These high-quality ingredients deeply nourish the hair and skin, preventing issues like dryness, irritation, and split ends. Beard Apothecary's commitment to using only the best natural ingredients ensure that your beard stays soft, manageable, and looking its best. Come check them out at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. Your beard will thank you for it. And the cigar that we are smoking tonight is the Brown E. Trout from Lure Cigars. It has a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, binder and filler from Nicaragua. And the price is $10 a stick, and they're sold in packs. And I found some really good packs, but we'll let Lou tell us the wonderful places that he would prefer or he suggests you go buy them. But tonight's cigar is the Brown E. Trout. So anybody who is currently smoking the Brown E. Trout, let us know. Put it in the comments. We got a bunch of comments going on. So put it in the comments. Let us know what you think about it while you smoke it. And we'll smoke along with you as we while we smoke good cigars and tell tall tales.
Tall tales. Yes, sir.
Something like
that. I think.
All right. Well, let's welcome to the stage the man. All right, let's see. Nice. Love it. Let's welcome to the stage the one and only Mr. Lou Cross.
Hello.
What's going on, sir?
Hello.
What's up, bro?
Not much. It's nice and cool, but it's not as cold as it is by you guys. It's in the low 50s right now. It's supposed to drop down in the 40s, but not quite.
Yeah, it's a little chillier than I like.
For 40 right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are smoking the brownie trout?
Yes, sir. I love this
All
stick,
right.
man.
Yes.
I started off with one, and then I lit up another one because I was already halfway through it, and I didn't want to have to relight it. So I'll finish that other half as it goes
Aw.
along. So
That'll work.
mhm.
Yeah, I smoked the first one 2 days ago. Well, yeah, it was my first one. So I smoked my first one 2 days ago, did my review of it, and since I get the joy of producing the show back here and pushing all the buttons, there's not a chance I could be able to review one and do this one. So I get to sit back and enjoy now.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, Lou. He gave me the opportunity to interview cigars with them, and I was also trying to review a cigar for the first time, and it was a complete cluster. But we got through it. We got through it, but it was a complete cluster.
Well, I appreciate you guys smoking Lure, and it's been a great opportunity to come out. And thank you for having me on the show. So
Man,
for
we're
sure.
excited to have you. Yeah, I been telling everybody, man. Like, we love all our guests, and we love learning more about the cigar community in general and what have you. But like, when we had you on the Herf, I feel like we connected, and it was, man, like every story you were telling was like, man, that's exactly what I did. I mean, we want to hear some of them stories tonight. Obviously, our guests all haven't heard those stories,
Sure.
but man, I feel like even though we never met, man, I feel like we're friends in the community, you know, and it's just it's a way to connect through your sticks, man. And we appreciate having you on.
Great. Well, I will say that
we
go
got
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was about to say we got the chance to meet you.
Mhm.
I had heard about some of your stuff a year or so ago, a couple of years ago, through a club that we were previously in, and then we got a chance to meet you a few weeks ago, probably a little over a month ago, on the TriStar Herf crew Tuesday night Herf, and we got to talk with you and stuff like that, and it was really the first cigar from Lure I think I know I had tried, and I was hooked. No pun intended, but I was hooked. And then all of a sudden Mick starts talking about this, this cigar that he got with the green band, and you're like, oh yeah, that's our brownie trout. And Mick's like, oh my God, this thing is so good. And he's like, oh yeah, this is our new limited that's out. And it's okay. So maybe this is what I need to smoke. And then I asked you, hey, what do we smoke tonight? And you said brownie trout.
Brownie trout.
Oh yeah,
Let's
That'll
do
work.
it. Yeah, it was a good time. The Tri-State Herf crew, I try to get out there and meet some people virtually. You know, it's hard to be on the road and try to catch up with everybody, but these virtual Herfs and Discord and Zoom and StreamYard and such have been a blessing to small companies to be able to get out and reach folks and share the love of tobacco. I've been smoking for a little over 30 years, and I started smoking when I was 18. My dad had smoked cigars. So when I got into it, the activity that kind of brought fishing and cigars together was my dad's love of cigars and love of fishing. So it was just a natural fit. And when he and I would go fishing, or even if we weren't dropping a line, we could sit there and tell tall tales. And so our slogan, like you mentioned, is smoke great cigars and tell tall tales. And it's just kind of the combination of both things that I love to do. And I don't get out fish as much as I would like to anymore, but I got great stories. And when I do go fishing, I always have cigars with me. So that's one of the things. And when my dad passed away last year, so when he was 90 years old, and Mick, you mentioned your dad's 90 now, and you know these moments that you get a chance to share with them, and like I saw a picture of you fishing with him the other day or whatever, and so those are great memories and great touch points you can kind of look back on and everything. Well, when he the last year of his life, kind of tapered, and he wasn't able to get out and do as much outdoorsy type things as he used to do, but they lived on a little lake, and my mom still lives there. And we could go and drop a line in the water whenever, and be lucky enough to catch a bass or bluegill, crappie, and, panfish and such. But we could always enjoy a cigar. And when he passed away, I had asked the person who helped me get into the actual manufacturing end of things, my good friend Nimmer Ahmad of Valakari Cigars, he happens to have a brand, and I love his cigars too. And I asked him, I said, would you roll a cigar for my dad's 90th birthday? And he said, oh yeah, yeah, just tell me what you need. And I'm like, well, Dad used to smoke some pretty mild stuff at the end. He smoked some real strong stuff when I was younger, perotis and dark double Maduros and, just really strong stuff. And but towards the end, he would smoke Connecticut's and just, lighter cigars. He just appreciated the kind of a softer smoke. So Nimmer rolled him a couple of boxes worth of these kind of short story Figurado Perfecto little short smokes. And they just didn't make it in time for him to smoke them for the 90th birthday. And I said, that's no big deal. We smoked other things and had a good time. But he had just a rapid decline, and he was just kind of tired. And he said, I'm done. I was able to see everybody. We had all the family and friends together, and it was wonderful, and had a great party. And my dad just said, look, I've lived a full life. I've had a great, story. I'm finished. And once he came to that resolution, he just said, I'm really tired. And, the day before he passed away, we saw him and he was like, thanks for coming. It was really good to see you. Next morning, he just didn't wake up. So he went away peacefully, had a full, in terms of sorrow, it wasn't a sorrowful time for me. I mean, I miss him dearly, but at the same time, I can sit here and smoke a cigar and tell his story and and he's with me every time I light up a cigar. Well, we took those cigars that we had and we decided to go ahead and give them away at his wake and his funeral. And when we did that, I did the eulogy and I invited people to go ahead and grab a cigar out of the box at the back of the church or back of the service. And people did. And when they did that, they took them home and they shared them with their kids. They shared them with their friends. They shared them with their other colleagues and such. And I got all these people that sent me messages, told me stories of the times they shared with my dad, times they shared with their dad. My kids smoked this with me. I made memories. Thank you very much. And it inspired me. And I said, maybe this is something there. Maybe there's something there. And so that's kind of where I said, well, maybe I'm going to create something that I can get a cigar and do something I can share with people. And it would be a cigar I like to smoke because I'm not a big Connecticut smoker, but, teach their own. And that's how we got started.
It's an incredible story, man. I love how it all ties together. And like I said before, man, just those moments you share while you're having a great stick, with family, with friends, you're not really on your phone or distracted by something else in life. I mean, that's really what drew me to this community and really seeking out great sticks. And it's weird because great sticks kind of came before great people because it all kind of, you met great people through great sticks, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's just a great thing. And, man, I appreciate you telling your story on here again. That story gets me in the heartstrings, man, because it's something we can all look back on and be like, man, yeah, it's those moments that we shared along the way. So that's great, man.
I will say that the story that you just got done telling is touching because I'm going through something similar, not with the cigar part of it, but something similar with my parents at the moment, at least one of them. So just listening to you talk with the passion and love that you've got in your voice, that's why I had to sit back for a second because it was like, gotta breathe.
Sure.
So, there's people that create cigar brands just to create a revenue stream. And there's people who create cigar brands to have a legacy live on. And it sounds like, every time that someone is smoking one of your cigars, it is a part of a legacy, your father's legacy that's living on through the cigars that they're smoking. And that passion, that hits me square in the chest. And that's something I absolutely love hearing.
Well, it's been rewarding. It's been a blessing. I mean, I originally had gone to Nimmer and I said, what do you think about doing a cigar that I like to smoke? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. And, I'm a big Habano smoker. I like, straight up Habano tobacco, especially Nicaraguan tobacco. I smoke all things. I mean, I'm a cigar enthusiast first. I mean, if anybody knows me or anybody's heard with me, I like Lure. Don't get me wrong. I like my cigars and I smoke my cigars daily, but I love to smoke other stuff as well. And there's a lot of brands that I really enjoy. And so I love to see what other people are doing and what other, talent is out there. And some are just amazing. And it's like having an appreciation for fine art or a great meal. And, anybody who's a chef or an artist, they can go and appreciate other people's work. And so I absolutely, make an effort to go out there and continue to try what's new. I'm excited about it. I'm a cigar nerd like, the rest of us. And, when I'm putting something out, I was looking to do a Habano. So I went to Nimmer and I said, let's see what we can do. Well, I'm not in a position where I can go down to the factory into Nicaragua, but I can validate and I can ask for things, and then they send up samples and we try them and we say this will work or this doesn't work. Let's see if we can make this happen. So that's my process, and it's a slower process. So when we first started in November of last year, it was actually September when we were first getting going, and I said, I'm looking for a cigar. Well, we tried and tried and tried to get some samples in and try different things, and they just weren't hitting my palate enough to where I wanted to put my name on it. And then initially, I was just trying to find a cigar that was going to be the cigar, and I had no name for the company, no name for the cigar, anything. And I just said, I'm just going to have a cigar that I can, put my name on. Well, we went through cycle after cycle after cycle, and when it came down to it, I was kind of frustrated, and Nimmer could kind of tell. And he's like, "Look, this is a tribute to your dad. Hold on a second." And he went back in the warehouse, and he came out. And when he came back, he brought a cigar without a band on it, and he handed it to me. He said, "Smoke this." And I was like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Just smoke it." And we had been smoking other stuff that evening, and all day on a Saturday. And it's probably 7 o'clock, and I probably had two or three other cigars up to that point. And I smoked it, and I looked at it. It's a beautiful dark reddish brown wrapper, and it was a Toro. And the pre-light draw, there was like raisins, there was like this nuttiness, this kind of just cinnamon kind of. I was like, what in the world? And I lit it up and I started smoking it. And I was like, what is this? And I started smoking it, and I was like, oh my God. He said, just smoke it. And I kept badgering him. And after about a half an hour, 45 minutes, I was like, you got to tell me what this cigar is all about. And he said, well, this cigar is something we've been working on for a couple of years. And he had at the time 3 core lines, and it was looking to bring in a couple more. And he had some stuff on the horizon that I had a chance to sample, which are phenomenal smokes of themselves. But this cigar didn't have a place in his portfolio. And he said, do you like that cigar? I said, I love this cigar. And I said, this cigar is amazing. And he said, would you like to have that cigar as your cigar? And I was like, yeah, I can have this. And he's like, you can have this. He goes, it's for your dad. You can have this. And so as it turns out, the Big Lou was a Corojo Oscuro, and it's a dark Corojo that is just a flavor, just complex flavor smoke. It's a medium full bodied smoke. It just keeps your interest. And that's the cigar that I basically said, I'm going to launch my company with this. And in talking with my buddy James from Simply Stogies, we were like, and Tim, we were sitting there herping, and James was like, well, tell me what got you into cigars in the first place. And we talked about the fishing, and he said, you should do something with the fishing theme. And at the end of the conversation, we came to the resolution that Lure Cigars was the name that just fit. It was almost like my dad was also there, kind of his hand on your shoulder. And my dad was giving it like his blessing. And so Lure Cigars was born. We launched last Black Friday a year ago this week. And when we did, I had Oxford Cigar Company, which my friend Lucas owns, and he was able to bring them online. And I had Jerry's Cigar Shop, which is my local cigar shop that Jerry's is right down the road from my house, and it's where Dad and I shared many a cigar. So we launched the brand at those 2 locations. And the first few thousand cigars that I had within a couple weeks had been sold out.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
It was so rewarding, but also humbling to see that people really like the story. They love the cigar. They could sit there and connect with it. And we decided to go ahead and launch with 3 different Vitolas. So we launched with the Big Lou, which was a 6x52 Toro. And then I named the cigars after, personal things in my family. So the Robusto in the Corojo Oscuro is called the Little Tony. And the Little Tony is named after my son, who's actually 6'5", but when he was little, we called him Little Tony. His name's Anthony. So Little Tony. And then we
Yep,
had the
sounds little to
BLT, 'cause
me.
my dad's you're right. So my dad's favorite sandwich was the BLT, but it was the Big Lou torpedo. So we had a torpedo in that Corojo Oscuro. So those three sizes got us through the rest of the year and into January. We continued to work, and we created a Habano line that launched in February where we had two sizes. And my daughters, when they found out Tony had a cigar named after him, they were like, immediately, when are we going to get a cigar named after us? So
That sounds
we
like
had
daughters.
Yep. So we had and I didn't know if they had any interest in it at all. I didn't know they were paying attention, but they were. So I had the Tally Alley. My daughter's name is Allison. We're from Tallahassee. Tallahassee is the nickname Tally. So Tally Alley is the Toro 6x52. She's 6'3", so I gave her the bigger one, no pun intended. And then my
Your daughter is
middle
6'3".
yep. She's
Damn.
she's tall. And then my middle child, Nicole, she's not as tall, so she got the 5x50 Robusto Habano, and that's called the Holy Coley because her nickname's Coley for Nicole. So those five cigars was what we carried forward. Well, as we went through, I was working on something, and I said, "Well, I've got the Big Lou. My name's Lou. My dad's name is Lou. His name was Lou, but I really wanted to have a tribute cigar." And that tribute cigar that I was working on, I said, I just want to have something that's really, really special. And so we really worked hard to get a Connecticut broadleaf because I love a broadleaf cigar. And we ended up doing a cigar in honor of him for his birthday's on June 1st. He passed away June 27th, and Father's Day is tucked in there in the third Sunday of the month. So June is a big month for Lure cigars. And we did a LE that got dropped in the summer, and we called that the Last Cast. Well, the Last Cast was a cigar that was a process. I mean, it took us about 6 months to work through it. And the Last Cast, we said, it's got to be something that really is special. And why is it called the Last Cast? Well, as a fisherman, when you're out there with your fishing buddy, or even if you're saying to yourself, when you're out there at the end of your fishing experience that day or that night, that morning, whatever, you always kind of throw one last cast.
Yep.
And that last cast you toss in the water. You may say it to your buddy or whoever's in the boat with you or on the pier or whatever, and you say, last cast, and you kind of acknowledge last cast. And it's that one, you reel it in a little bit slower. You reel it in a little bit different. You put a little more action on the lure. You try to entice some fish to come out there and bite it, whether you landed, your limit for the day, or if you're, skunked and you're hoping to get that one last cast. And it's kind of like that last pull on a slot machine, or one more try. So the Last Cast was a way to tribute to my dad, that if I had one more opportunity, it would be the one cigar that I would want to smoke with him. Well,
Yeah.
getting to that point, getting to that point, we had, you work through a lot of different blends, you work through a lot of different things, and so being that I love to experiment, love to smoke a bunch of different things, one of the cigars that came up just a little bit short, but it was still a fantastic smoke. It was just not the right combination of leaves for what I wanted to do with the Last Cast, but it was a cigar I didn't want to let go. And I had an allocation for broadleaf. So the allocation, you only have a certain amount of tobacco you can work with when you talk to a factory and you commit to what you're going to do. And I didn't know at the time, I didn't know how many people were going to even buy one cigar, let alone thousands of cigars. So we had them roll the second place finisher, if you will, which was still a fantastic smoke. And I said, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use that as a catalyst, and I'll have a second kind of way to give the cigars to people out there that really enjoy them. And we came up with Catch and Release. And the Catch and Release program is a way to take a cigar that may not have enough tobacco to do full core line or full production, or it's something to say, this is something that was an oddball size or something else. And we put them in a different package. You kind of, so this is the current Catch Release, which we're smoking tonight. But the first one was called the Speckled Perch, and it was a Connecticut broadleaf. Well, that did really, really well. And we had a couple thousand cigars, and
I hate that I didn't get in on that one.
But it was a way to get to the Last Cast. And so it was a great way to experiment and have people share in that experience and get feedback from folks. So as we went forward, we ended up looking for people saying, look, I want a stronger cigar. I want, your cigars are really good, but I want something with a little more flavor. I want something with a little more strength. And I'm like, geez, I'm trying to hit all the cylinders and everything else. So I asked the factory to come up with a stronger Habano. And the stronger Habano that they came up with, what they did was they took the Habano blend and they took out some of the filler tobaccos and they box pressed it and left all the Amatepe Ligero. So there's an Amatepe binder, Amatepe Ligero left in the filler. And because of the box pressing, there's a little less filler. It allows that combustibility, a little more airflow that's in that. And that cigar was sent up, and I was sitting smoking it in June as a sample. And my wife was sitting out on the porch. And as I was sitting in the chair and I was talking to Nimmer, I said, "This cigar is awesome." And she was like, "If that cigar is awesome, I want that one named after me." And I was like, "Okay." So I said, "If that's the case, I'm going to call that the Mean Gene." And the Mean Gene, she laughed at it and she accepted it. And so the Mean Gene is the Habano, but it's got all the straight. It's a little stronger blend to it. And that's where we kind of got to this year. So, as we get forward, and there's a couple other ones we could talk about, but I feel like I've done a lot of talking. So I don't know if you got other questions or.
Well, I had a list full of questions, and I will tell you the exact same thing that I told you when I first met you. I came into the interview with a shit ton of questions. I asked one, and you answered an entire page of them. Brother,
Okay.
I'm literally, I'll tell you the same thing I told you before. I'm just sitting back listening. I knew that tonight I get to enjoy a cigar more than I normally do because I know that you're going to talk and you're going to tell some stories. And so I'm enjoying it. So let's talk about the cigar we're smoking.
All right.
So you said last year you came out with the catch and release that was the Connecticut. So this, I guess, this is this year's Connecticut broadleaf, right? Mm-hmm. So this is this year's catch and release, correct?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only been in business for, officially since January. So it's the second catch and release of the same year, but it's the second release. So in terms of when we came out with it, it was in the spring. And so this particular cigar, I've been working on for some of the people that have been out there and they've smoked the Oscuro. There's an Oscuro blend we've got, and it's coming out next year for the show when we go to PCA. But this cigar came about where we had an opportunity, and this was something presented, and it was a cigar that I love, a San Andres Maduro. And when I sat there and I had a chance to sample this cigar, I knew that other people that like cigars and that like similar things to what I like on my palate, they would jump at this cigar. This is one of those things that, it's like going to a fishing hole and throwing your line in the water and you land the fish on the first cast. This was something that was first cast. The moment that I smoked it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like eating a tray of corner well done brownies. I mean, it's just got deep cocoa notes. It's just so rich. And I've smoked them in the morning, but I'm going to tell you, I smoked some, some stronger cigars in the evening. I had a big meal tonight, so I ate some carne asada, and this cigar is just like dessert.
Oh, nice.
So this particular cigar is a little bit larger. It's a 6x54 box press San Andres Maduro over Nica binder and filler. And when I knew that this was something I did not have enough of them to go core, but I had enough to be able to bring it in as catch and release. And so this was the second release that we had. They come in 5-packs. There are still some out there. I know Oxford still has some. They may still have some at Luxury. They may still have some Sir Louis. Some of the other brick and mortars out there still have some. I know that the Bull Weevil Fine Cigars in Enterprise, they have some, and you can call them. If you're looking for Lure Cigars, you're welcome to go to our website, lurecigars.com, go to our Contact Us page, and there's a list of retailers that are on there, and those are our retail partners. And I want to give a shout out to all of our retailers in a sense that I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the partnerships that I have with the people that are out there, making the cigars available to you guys who are the enthusiasts. I don't sell direct to consumers, and I take my relationships with my retailers very seriously. And so it's great. They've been very supportive of the brand. Everybody who's listed there is somebody that carries our products, and they just, they love the story. They're bought into it too. And anything you can do to help brick and mortar, always shop local when you can. Smokers Abbey has some, I think, that they might in Memphis, Mick. And then I know Scenic in Tennessee for your other TriStar guys, Scenic City
I was
Cigars.
just about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
The two shops that, if you are a Tennessee person, I have to shout out my brothers in Chattanooga at Scenic City Cigars. That
Rob
is
and Jason.
probably one of the
Yep.
finest cigar lounges in the state of Tennessee. And then the Smokers Abbey is another one out in Memphis that you can go and pick some up. But Jason and Rob over in Scenic City in Chattanooga, that is the first place that I ever saw anything of yours in a store.
Yeah, they've been with us.
I will say that
almost the get-go.
Oh yeah, that was. I saw that and I saw the display, and the story that I told you was, I walked in there and was like, "Holy crap, who did that?" And he was telling me about it, and I said, "Okay, just turn around." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm putting this under my shirt and I'm taking it home with me." And he's like, "You can't fit that." And I said, "I'm a fat dude. Watch me." So. I will say that, when it comes to the creativity that you've got behind your stickers, I love the paper wrapped around. It reminds me of the old bait and tackle shops that I used to go to at my dad. And you would either go find they just made a sandwich or they just made something. And it was all wrapped up in that butcher paper style. And it was sitting there waiting for you. And that's what it reminded me of. And as soon as I saw that, it was like, wow, that brings back memories.
So that's you mentioned the packs. We do 10 packs of cigars. They've got a wax paper inside that's sealed with a Boveda pack inside. So the cigars are in cello. They're put in the wax paper, and then they're covered in this craft paper on the outside with kind of a sticker that's got kind of a throwback design for the old-fashioned fishing. My dad, like some people, they get stuck in the fashion genre, whatever it is. They find something they felt they looked good in at some point in the past, and that's where they kind of settle into, and they don't adopt new trends. And my dad was all about fishing gear from the 60s and 70s. So the whole kind of muted palette in terms of what I use on the marketing of things is a throwback to the antique lures. You can kind of see some of them. I guess they're up over here on this side. These are some of the lures that were in his tackle collection, and I've got some other ones that I use to develop the boxes that we call them tackle boxes, which are the trays that the loose cigars, and then the packs fit in for the retail partners that we have. And so if you go to a retailer and they carry lure and they carry our core line, you can see the fact that some of those antique lures are the ones that my dad had in his collection. And I get to share those with other people. It helps to tell the story for sure.
I will say that this is probably, I know I keep saying this is like one of my favorite cigars of the year, and you're probably gonna hear that 3 more times tonight, but I need to find me a couple 5 packs or 10 packs to throw in the bottom of my humidor, because I will be disappointed when these go away, man. This is an outstanding stick. It's perfect for my palate.
Well, I appreciate the feedback, and what I like about it is you can kind of see the oils that get released as it smokes along. It's got some visual presentation. It's got a beautiful uniform chocolate brown wrapper to it. When we first did the speckled perch, we didn't put a band on it. We were trying to keep costs down. I am all about trying to put the money in the tobacco and not having it. I'm a sucker for great packaging, and so I love presentation. But I'm just starting out, and I didn't want to put a whole bunch of money into boxes and to other things. And so where I can make it and pass along that savings is to make better cigars available at a reasonable price. My dad was always about making sure that the common person, the everyday person, could afford to appreciate whatever it is you're doing, and don't leave out the the little guy. Well, because we came from a family, we didn't have a lot of means, but we always were happy. We always had a chance to travel. My dad always had a fishing rod in the truck whenever we were going somewhere, the camper, and fishing was one of those things that was a very low cost hobby to really be able to be good at and enjoy. And cigars should be able to pair with that same level of activity as well. But there's a lot of people who enjoy lure that don't fish, but they go out and they play golf, or they fly airplanes, or they do other things. And so cigars, whatever your hobby is, make a lure a part of that. So
oh yeah.
So I will say this: we're on this one right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a new one out, and I remember you telling me about it, and it was like, Wait, he sent me a pre-release, so I smoked that one last night. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about some of the other ones that are a little more bold and in your face, this new one coming up is like a taste of elegance. It is a cigar that you can sit back, put you on some good blues, some good jazz, and then pick it apart. Think about the notes, relax with it, and it becomes a story in itself because the flavors just ride. They ride with a good song. And I will say, I remember you telling me about it, but when it got released, I woke up like I do every morning. As I'm getting the kid ready and the kid's getting ready for school, I crack open my phone and I see a Instagram post that destroys my eyes for the rest of the day. And it just happens to be Sir Louis laying naked with a bunch of pack of Lure cigars all over him, like he does with Matt Booth stuff. And it was like, that's not how I needed to start my day. But you know what? It worked. So I remembered it, and it was like, good grief. So let's go ahead into the new LE that's coming out.
Sure.
I guess it's hit Sir Louis already. He's already selling. So let's go ahead and talk about the new one. What do we have?
So,
and I know Simply Stogie podcast said, what's the next cigar from Lure?
So the next one is the Jolly Walleye, which shipped today. And so that is the opposite of the last cast. This will be the holiday LE that we'll do. And this is a Habano 2000. It is the flavor notes. When I first smoked this cigar, it was straight salted caramel, milk chocolate, very nuanced. There's very little pepper on the retro. It is a creamy smoke. It's a 5.5 by 52 Robusto Extra. And it comes in a silver package. This is just launched this week, so it'll be out. The Jolly Walleye. And the Jolly Walleye is going to be hitting retailers. There's a couple of retailers. I know Oxford has them, Luxury, Sir Louis. They've got them out there right now on pre-sale, and then they're going to be dropping Tuesday, Wednesday next week, so you can get them on Black Friday sales. That cigar, I'm going to tell you, out of all the cigars in the portfolio of Lure, I have been able to smoke some of the ones that had a crack foot or a little spot on the wrapper, and I've been very judicious about making sure. So this one can't. My wife, she's looking at it like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, this one can't. I got to pull this one out of the quality control." She's like, "You're doing a lot of quality control." I'm like, "Because I can't stop smoking these things." So that's the Jolly Walleye. And just as a note to Hunter and Matt over at Sir Louis, we just did a shop exclusive for them, and we've done a couple shop exclusives for a couple of different retail partners that we have. Hunter and Matt, they got the largemouth Louis, which is a 6x60 Habano, and you can go to our Instagram and you can see some of the pictures. And they do what they do, and Hunter does what he does when it comes to marketing. But he sells cigars, and I wish him the best, and I look forward to doing more projects with folks. That cigar has done really well for them. It's a one-off, a very limited production. We had a couple of things from the factory, and I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, do you have any interest?" And he's like, "Let's do it." And so that's what hit this week as well. So you can go over there to Sir Louis and get the largemouth Louis, which is a 6x60 Gordo. But the Jolly Walleye will be there's 3,000 cigars we did for the holiday. And if you're looking for something that you can just pair with a beautiful cup of coffee or a light whiskey, or if you've got, like a mulled wine or something that you do for the holidays, after Thanksgiving meal, it's just one of these just nuanced and just a very special, soft on the palate, but yet full of flavor and, butter, salted caramel. You get that salinity that helps your mouth kind of salivate a little bit. And I just keep wanting to smoke one after the other. I mean, I just don't want it to end. So I hope you'll go out and you'll look for those. The Jolly Walleye is the next one to drop. And that'll get us through the rest of the year. So we've got another core master order coming in for our Corojo and for our Habano. And we're staging to get ready for the PCA show. And the PCA show will be, of course, in April. We'll be there with a booth. So anybody who's going to be a retailer that's going to be walking around, please stop by the booth. 1947 is our booth number. But we're looking forward to seeing some of our friends that we haven't met in person. We're looking forward to meeting, new people and seeing some other manufacturing that friends of ours that we've been able to, connect with and talk to and see again. We have an event in May that we did this last May, which was at Fat Ash Cigar Lounge, which they have the mild Kentucky Herf. I'm hoping that we get a chance to get invited and go back in May to go to that event. That's really what helped kick off the brand. We were selling, in a few retailers, and then when we went to Kentucky, my family went with me, and Jeannie and Allie went with me, and they helped staff the booth. And we were between Luciano and All Saints, and we were sitting there, and the Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, people from all over, Tennessee, Virginia. There were people that came from all over the place, and that's where I met a lot of folks. It was phenomenal, and they had over 300 people there that were all cigar friendly, family friendly, and it helped reinforce the brand with my family as well. So, we're looking for events like that, and we've got some retail partners that are in smaller venues. And so, one of our good friends, Shauna and Brian Boland, they have a shop in Livermore, Iowa. There's only 380 some people that live in Livermore, but there's people that travel from all over the state to come and smoke cigars there. And they love Lure, and Lure does very well in the shop for people to come out and smoke. And so, I'm all about, smaller venues that we have. We've got some shops that are in Pittsburgh, the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. They've got Lure. They've been very, very supportive of the brand. Red Coat Cigar Company, that's right in Ligonier. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
I'm
it's
not
right
the
there in
only
Pittsburgh
one.
area too.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I can read it, but I can't say it. So, but Steve at Red Coat, he's been great. And these are places where people go and they trust the people who are at the shops to give them guidance and say what's a good smoke. And it's been humbling to have people give feedback, and then when they smoke our stuff, I hope they're telling the truth. Maybe I just don't hear the negative stories, but more often than not, people are saying these are really good cigars. I enjoy smoking them, and I want to do it again.
Yeah, I know we do, man. It's I kind of have my wheelhouse with stronger cigars like this one, but man, I've enjoyed everyone I've smoked with. They all have their place, and I think you're doing a great job, especially for the short amount of time you've been in the industry, really. And it's obviously your palate's pretty great to decide what you want to put out there and what you want to do. So it's definitely awesome, man.
Well, I will tell you that the really next strong cigar that's going to be coming out that is really a bold smoke is the Oscuro, and that'll come out as a catch and release next spring.
Oh,
and
you got Charles's attention.
Yeah, that cigar is so right now we do a Robusto of that blend for a lounge in Houston, the A1 Cigar Lounge and Bar. That we call the Midnight Rider. So my dog in my family his name is Ryder, Ryder. My kid's named the dog, and he's jet black. So the Oscuro is a very dark wrappered cigar, and it's very, very bold, like a deep bark and all the bite. And I'll tell you, we called it the Midnight Rider. And so their lounge exclusive that's at the A1 Cigar Bar and Lounge, they have the 5x52 Robusto. So that's the Midnight Rider. And so, those little projects, those kind of fun little things that we have. Something else you may have seen, they're not out right now, but they're coming back out and they'll be out at PCA. We have a cigar called Fish Sticks. So I had an idea, and I thought, what the heck? Let's try something, right? So I love little cigars, little petite Coronas and Corona sized cigars, because there's sometimes when I'm running to the bank or I'm running to, pick up something or go to the warehouse, I only have about 20 to 30 minutes in the car. And I love to be able to just light up and have a smoke break. So I had a version of the Habano rolled in a little 4.5 by 46. So it was a Rothschild. And I just did it because I was going to have a cigar I like to smoke. Well, I put a band on it and I threw it up on Instagram. And I said, wouldn't it be fun to call these Fish Sticks? And it took off where all the retailers were reaching out and they're like, hey man, where do we get this cigar? So I created a little Ziploc packaging branded with the Fish Sticks logo and the pictures and everything else. And we sold through almost 2,000 of them like instantly. They just went out. We put them in 5-packs, sold them for $8. It was $40 for a 5-pack. They put them next to the register. They had Bovit in the packs, so they could put them out. They didn't have to be in the humidor. And it was a grab and go add-on that they burned through them. And people love those little cigars. Well, I originally wanted to do a fish stick in a box press, but the box press, they didn't have the molds and they wouldn't do it unless I was going to order a master order of, more than 5,000. So I took the Parejo just because, it didn't matter the shape all that much. It was more of a thing that, aesthetic. But now we're coming out with, so the cigars that will be released as fish sticks at the show will be a 4 1/4 by 46 box press, just like a frozen fish stick. And
that's awesome.
So those will come out. Those will come out in the show. And when we did that, some of the other blends that we did, I did a Corona, which was 4 1/4 by 40, and I did a 5.5 by 44. One of my best retail partners is Stephen Frank over at Enterprise at the Bull Evil Fine Cigars, and he also has the Humidor and Dothan, Fine Cigars of Dothan. So I went to Stephen, and he loves the Habano blend. That's his favorite of the Lure line. He said, let's do a shop exclusive. Let's do something, and I said, okay. I said, how about this one called the Evil Weevil? So there's a story behind how the Weevil, came about and transformed the economy of that particular town, because the cotton crop was decimated by this pest of the weevil, boll weevil. But the town embraced it, because what it did was it forced the farmers to make an evolution in what they had for their crops, and they ended up growing peanuts. And the peanuts were resistant to drought. It were resistant to the type of sandy soil that you could grow peanuts. And so it actually transformed, and they ended up making a whole bunch more money growing peanuts. And if it wasn't for the boll weevil, they would still be growing cotton today. And they still do cotton as a rotational crop, but the peanuts are the dominant crop that's over there. If you've ever had a, peanut butter, if you ever had a Snickers bar, if you ever had a Payday or whatever, the peanuts that are in those, food products are grown in that region of Alabama and Georgia. That's there, Alabama primarily. So they have a shop exclusive called the Evil Weevil, and it's a nice, shorter, smaller ring gauge smoke, and that's kind of the preference of the guy who owns the shop. And they're great. I love smoking those things on the road too. So I'm always looking for opportunities to share great cigars and make it possible for people to enjoy good tobacco.
I will I'll throw this out here. Here's another. I throw one curveball per week at Charles, and he's like, why is he running his mouth again? But let me throw this out here. If you ever want to tease something and reveal it for a live smoke and review, we got you. We want to be those guys, because you have so many little side projects going, and we love it. There's this one's here, this one's here, this one's at this shop exclusive. If you ever want to tease one for a month and we do it live, man. Charles, am I speaking for you? We're all in.
Yeah, I'm all game. Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
what was fun, just listening to the last 3 stories, I think it was, you're going into the stories and it's like, oh dude, I got this question, and you answered it, and then it's like I got the I want. It's like, man, this is the best freaking interview ever. I don't have to do anything. So just hitting back on a couple of things really quickly. We were going back into the one we're smoking tonight. I remember when I posted the picture that I was doing the review, and you just sent me a message and just said, what do you think? I love the comment you gave me when I said, hey, I'm in the first third. This is what I got. I got a okay and a thumbs up, I think it was. And it was like, ooh, that I don't know if that's good, if that's bad, but I love it. I like it. Cool.
Well,
No. But then when you're going into the notes for the Jolly Walleye, and it's fresh on my memory because that was smoked last night. And you were talking about it's got that butter note, and it's got that caramel note. And the one thing that I kept picking up from it, I was getting almost like a not burnt butter, but like a toasted butter that had that buttery, nutty flavor to it. And then it would roll over, and I would get that toasted caramel on the palate. And then my retro, I would get this like when you're toasting butter, and I would get that nutty, that peanut buttery kind of flavor in the retro. And it's like, okay, cool. So when I got into probably about the final third, I was looking for something to drink, and I paired it with Old Forester. And Old Forester has a lot of like that nutty banana, in there. And so you take that Old Forester 100 and you put it with it, and it complements that caramel, that butter, that nutty note that's in there so well, that those two cigar and that whiskey pairing is like they were made to hold hands and walk down the beach together. It's perfect.
Well, I
Nick
put
loves
out
it
some
when I
flavor
start talking
notes.
like that.
Sure. No, but what the thing that's great about it is that everybody's smoking experience is going to be different. And so you can make suggestions, and when you have those notes, and part of it is it's an experiential thing where you have had those mappings to things that you have appreciated or you've experienced, whether it be a particular whiskey you like, or it be a particular coffee, or a particular candy, or whatever, a soda pairing. And one of my good friends, Nigel Alston, he says, I said, what are you getting out of the cigar? And he says, I'm getting tobacco with notes of tobacco. And he can tell you if it's a good cigar or not a good cigar, And there's a lot to be said about that, in a sense that you do have your own way to connect to that cigar smoking experience. I make suggestions only because those suggestions are things that I get. And when you sit there and you think about it and you make those mappings in your kind of the olfactory area of your brain that says, I remember eating a piece of caramel. I remember eating a toasted marshmallow. I remember having vanilla. I remember that toasted butter. And I like the color, and it evokes other kind of sensory type of things that make it connect, and it can give you an experience and help to enhance that. Never would I say, you're wrong and you don't, if you get apple notes or you get citrus notes or other things, people get other things. That's your own experience. And I think it's wonderful. And I love to hear the feedback. I got chocolate brownies out of this, but there's other people that have said, oh, I get espresso. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting some deep coffee notes out of this, but if this is the type of espresso you're drinking, or however you mix it and whatever, more power to you.
Well, so before we get into the next little bit, I know you said you wanted to do a couple of giveaways. So I would like to go ahead and see what you've got in mind. I know you gave us an idea. So what I will do is I'll let you say what the giveaway is, and we will run the wheel and see what happens. Guys, if you hear this on here, the biggest thing I need you to do is try to contact me on here. Send me a message on here. You can reply in the comments with your Instagram handle. If you have Instagram, I will contact you, or you can contact me, and we will get everything sent out to you. If it's people that we know, we'll contact you and get your information, or you can contact us as well. So we did say, by the way, if you want to get in on this one, go ahead and put in YouTube, type in hashtag RealSmoke, and you'll be entered in to win. So I'll let you go ahead and say what you would be interested in, and we'll go from there.
Let's give away a few things. I'm always looking to spread the love of cigars, and we'll give away some lure stuff. How about we give away 2 of the Jolly Walleye and 3 of the Brownie Trout for those that haven't, maybe had it, or if they want to get some more. So we'll give a 5-pack away, and I'll throw some other, lure swag in there with some stickers and buttons and things that we have that can adorn your humidor or your Yeti cooler or whatever you put your stickers on. And then we'll do a hat, t-shirt, cigar combo giveaway. So I just need to get somebody's size for t-shirt. The hats are pretty much one size fits all, but we'll do a hat for Hatapalooza, and I'll send you a separate hat for Hatapalooza, Charles.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, that way this won't count as Hatapalooza, but we'll do a hat and a t-shirt. And shout out to a lure fan. I don't know if you can see it on the my friend Joe, Omaha Joe. He made this particular t-shirt for me. I'm wearing it tonight. And so more power to you, Joe. He's a big fan of lure. And so he made this T-shirt for me. I told him I was going to wear it soon. I thought it'd be an appropriate shirt to wear tonight. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of people out there that have embraced the kind of the branding and love the fishing concept or whatever it is. And so we got some fan art that's out there and chosen marketing. So
Love it.
and then we'll do the last one we'll give away. If you want to do one more giveaway, Charles, we'll give a pack of the Mean Gene. So that's a 10-pack of our cigars. That is the Habano with the extra kick up on that.
Dang.
Man, what a night. Thank you,
well,
Lou.
all right.
Yeah, man.
No joke. So let's go ahead. We'll do this one for the Jolly and the Brownie. Let me go ahead and pull this back on here.
Holiday smokes.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and see what happens. For the Jolly and the Brownie, we have John. Aldi.
John.
Good job.
John.
Congratulations. That's funny. Congratulations on that one. So we will do. John's laughing on this one. He thinks that's pretty awesome. Congratulations, John. We will be doing the hat and the shirt. So let's see what happens now.
And we'll throw a couple cigars in there too.
That'll work. Hat, shirt, and some cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner is Cookie Cigars.
Justin.
Congratulations.
Yep.
All right. If you don't mind, Dustin, hit me up on Instagram. Get me your information, and we will get all that information to Lou. And we have one more. And this one, a 10-pack of Mean Gene.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. And the winner is
Yay,
Pandemic Cigar
Tim.
Podcast.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Tim's a lure fan.
Very
He's
nice.
been known to smoke a Mean Gene or two, so that'll be good.
Yeah, man, it's
awesome. Guys, just reach out to me on Instagram. Just smoke_in_oak_tn. Look me up on Instagram. Send me all your information, and we will get that out to you as soon as we can.
Yep. We'll get it out this weekend.
Congratulations.
So before we get into congrats everybody. That's awesome. But before we get into some of our hot box questions we do and some of the ending stuff, I do want to tell you. So that's that picture that I posted when I posted about the podcast this morning with me and Dad. It was about 3-4 weeks before we left Pennsylvania and moved to Tennessee. And it was hard because of my kids and all of our friends up there, but it was also pretty hard because my parents are 90 and they're doing all right. But I mean, they're 90. I feel like I'm missing out on some of the potentially the last moments of their life. You know, you just never know. And so I took my dad. I was telling him there's 2 things I got into over COVID, and it was smoking cigars heavily and kayaking. And so that was the 2 things I got into. And when I got into kayaking, I really got back into fishing. And my dad, at 80, he was like 88 at the time or 89. He's like, I want to go out in a kayak. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work. But I took him out fishing for the day. And I wore some clothes I could wade in because I had to get the boat in the water and drag him in because he's not doing that himself. I was pretty much, but hey, it was awesome. Yep. So once we got in the water, he actually did okay. First time on a kayak. And the picture that I posted with that is his broken rod from probably a 6 or 7 pound bass that drug him around that fucking lake for about 20 minutes and then broke his rod.
Awesome. That's
awesome. And it was, he laughed and laughed for about freaking half an hour. And it was one of the coolest moments of my life. Just that story that we had from on the lake. And
Yeah.
That's what I brought with me to Tennessee, man. And my dad's been my biggest supporter. I moved for my job, for my career, for bettering me and my family. So he's a big supporter. He gets it. But man, I will take that moment with me for fucking ever. So it's just one of those I thought you should know since I posted that picture this morning. And
That's
man,
fantastic.
just cheers to you, brother. I feel like we have that
Cheers.
connection, and I appreciate what you do for
Absolutely.
the industry, brother.
Well, hearing stories like that make it all worth it. You know, this is a business and it's an enterprise, and I get it, but I'm not trying to, make $1 million here. They say that, if you want to join the cigar industry and you want to make $1 million, start with 2. And, it's funny because you can, put as much money and effort and you want into it. But when you hear the feedback and you hear the stories like that, and you hear people that have had a connection, and whether it be cigars or something else, there's a lot of stories that take, those moments and twists and turns. And we have a very limited time on the planet, right? I've got more years behind me than I do ahead of me, just statistically speaking. And so I know that when you have an opportunity to spend time with your family or spend time with your friends or take a moment to slow down, that's important. And, when you get to that, that's what it's all about. And when you can have something that you have a great memory, I remember smoking this cigar, I remember smoking that cigar. Those are ways in that you can kind of catalog that and connect to it so that when you're having a low day, it puts it into perspective. When you're having a great day, it puts it into perspective. So that's what it's all about. That's fantastic.
Agree. Bravo, brother. Bravo. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I love the feedback. I love hearing the feedback from all the people that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of the feedback that I've been reading that you're getting on whether it's a post that we put out there or all the posts that you put out there, it sounds like you are getting a lot of good, positive feedback.
Yeah. And very blessed. It's very humbling to know that, because there's a lot of people who have been doing this their whole life. They have put their heart and soul into their projects. They come from a family history of tobacco and family history of cigars. And I appreciate all the heritage that's there and respect everything that goes into that. And I will say that I am no master blender. I know what I like, and I like to share what I like with other people, whether it be from my brand or something else. I love to share cigars and trade cigars with other people. And they say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? My favorite cigar this year that's not mine, I just smoked the AJ 20th. That cigar is phenomenal. Is it worth $20? It's one of the few cigars that I could actually say and validate I would spend that on a special occasion smoke. That's a phenomenal, strong, but not overly powering cigar that has I just didn't want it to end. I love the Patina Oro de Nicaragua this year. That's one of the top 5 cigars that I've smoked. That cigar is very special.
I love that
when
cigar.
You talk about it's so good. And I first had it when I was at Scenic, and I was up there to do a lure event.
That's where I had it.
And I said, I'll try it because I like most stuff. And I went out there and I lit it up and I was like, holy cow, this cigar is phenomenal. Now, it could have been just I was in a beautiful lounge and sitting there smoking it, but at the same time, it's all experiential. The all goes into it. I've smoked several since then. So, I don't have that heritage. I don't have that history. I don't have that ability to go down to Nicaragua right now in my career where I'm at. But I respect it. And so to be able to get feedback, I have to give props to the factories and to all the talented people that go into how do they make cigars, the people that are actually rolling it, the people that are actually blending the cigars down there at the factory. They are the real artisans that are, putting the stuff together. And I'm merely a fellow consumer that just likes good stuff. So it's great to hear that. And I wish it could trickle back and I try to give them as many props as I can because I don't want to get them too inflated their ego because I want the pricing to stay the same, right? But at the same time,
right.
I'm happy to give to share that feedback and the positivity that is because of other people's great work.
Oh yeah.
I'm in the last third of this.
Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are we ready for hot box questions?
Uh-oh.
I am 100% ready for some hot box questions. So let's go ahead and do this really quickly. Hot box questions are brought to you by TriStar Herf Crew. If you're looking for a good online and in-person social cigar club, we have members right around 20 different states right now, and as well as Honduras. If you're interested in getting more information on that, check out tristarherfcrew.com or on Instagram at tristarherfcrew. So the way we're going to do this is we have 10 questions. I picked 5. He picks 5. We just go through and ask you a couple questions. Go ahead and talk about whatever is on your mind. It can be as short or as long as you want it. And we do not say that we are a PG-13 podcast. So whatever you want to say, whatever you want to say.
All right.
All right, Mick, let her rip.
All right. Do you have a favorite sports team?
Any other year, I'd probably say the Seminoles for college football, but they're not doing great this year because I'm from Tallahassee. I went to Florida State. I don't know what's happened, but we had a great season last year. There was a lot of hope, and all those hopes have been dashed. I will say that I grew up, my family's from Wisconsin, so they're big cheeseheads with the Green Bay Packers. But my wife's family, they're all from Chicago, so they're big Bears fans. So there's a big rivalry there. I'm sports and me. I appreciate sports. Sports is a reason to get together. I love herfing with people that love sports. I don't keep track of all those statistics. I don't do the fantasy football thing. I got no time for all those extra things. But I'll say Seminoles and probably the Green Bay Packers. So
okay, like it.
Question number 2: what is your favorite cuss word?
I'll probably the F word. I'm probably use that word too much. I get scolded by people who are more sensitive to cursing, and I put it in, but I say, they say some of the most intelligent people are out there that they, if they don't cuss, then, they're faking it. But I've tried to be mindful of that, but everybody knows me well. Probably dropping an F-bomb here or there.
Yeah, I try to, but I use it as a sentence enhancer most days. So yeah, it happens.
In Mick's case, about every sentence enhancer.
Correct.
You're the second person who has said their favorite cuss word without saying their favorite cuss word. Everybody else has pretty much screamed their favorite cuss word.
Sure. Well, I'm doing my best to be mindful. So
I like it. Aisle seat or window seat?
I'm a window seat guy. I one of the paths that we didn't get into it, but before I took a path and went down a career, I was planning to go in the Air Force and had a passion. And I always thought I was going to fly planes for a living. That was what I was going to do. And it just didn't work out that way. And so I love to look out the window. That's the one kind of failing of our human condition, that we weren't made to fly. I wish we could fly. And so I'm always loving to look out the window. I don't fit well in airline seats. So either one's going to be uncomfortable. And when I'm on a plane, I make sure I do my business before I get on the plane, and then I just sit and look out the window. So I'm a window guy.
Hell yeah.
All right, question number 4. What is your favorite joke?
There's a couple of good ones. I should have been more prepared for this, but there's a long joke that I tell, and I've told it on a couple of herfs and get people going, and it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to tell it, and then by the time they get it, and people are all groaning, and no, I can't tell that joke. It's too long. But I'm more of a dad joke guy. I consider my sense of humor. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm not prepared for this. I wish I could circle back and be more prepared, but. My dad
you can
would
always
tell
pass
a joke. Well, I'll give you one that my dad always told. He would sit there and he thought it was funny, and I never quite got it when I was a kid until later on. But he would say, "I'm going to tell you a knock knock joke," and I go, "Okay," and he would say, "You start it," and I go, "Knock knock," and he go, "Who's there?" And I was like, "What?" That was funny. He would start laughing. And I never quite understood how. I was like, I don't know who's there, and he's like, yes, yeah, I got you. And it was like, that was about it. But if I think of another one, I'll let you know.
I'm doing that to my kid tomorrow morning when I'm taking her to school.
Yeah.
Doing that to my coworker.
She'll just roll. She's 13, so she'll roll her eyes.
Yes. Who's there? I'm like, what?
All right. So, is cereal a soup?
No. And neither is gazpacho. I'm going to say point blank. Soup is a temperature. Soup for me has got to have temperature to it. And if it doesn't have temperature, like, because I don't want, I mean, I guess you could say like grits or oatmeal or farina or whatever it is, you could maybe consider that warm, but cereal is no. Cereal's not a soup.
All
No,
right. Love it. That's the most
definitive.
distinct no we got on that one.
No. I love cereal.
Usually it's
I
a
love
very
cereal,
nonchalant
but
no. This is like no.
mm-mm.
Or people start thinking about it
I
halfway
like
through
this.
their response, and they're like, "Well, maybe I see what you're." Yeah. So yeah, no, that's I like
No.
it. That's good.
He rubber stamped that thing and said no.
Nope.
Yeah.
So question number 6, if you could switch lives with any fictional character, who would it be and why?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It'd have to be somebody that really appreciates cigars. If it was a fictional character, I would probably say, I was going to say, somebody, Mark Twain. You hear these stories where, but I don't know. A fictional character, who's somebody that would. Most of the people that are portrayed as having cigar smoking are usually villains of some kind, or they're somehow that the
Bugs
cigar
Bunny likes
is
cigars.
vilified. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fictional
They're kind of
characters.
carrot looking, but he always liked doing his little Groucho Marx
Yeah.
style cigar.
Sure. But a fictional character, I'll say Daddy Warbucks, so I could smoke my cigars and then I could go ahead and embrace the thinning hairline that I've got. I'm lucky enough to be tall, but there's nothing on the back end of this. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. We're all there. We're definitely all there.
I'll go Daddy Warbucks.
Why do you think Hatapalooza started? Come on, it's getting wintertime and I need something for my hat. So
Sure.
Oh shit, my turn. What
yes, sir.
what superpower would you want and why?
I'll go back to fly. Why?
Agreed.
Because I think that anything else, all the other superhuman strength, all that, just let me leave the earth for a while.
Yeah,
Just
it'd be
fly.
so cool.
Could you
So
imagine
cool.
smoking a cigar like floating on a cloud?
I was about to say the
just
same thing.
There you go.
Could
Gotta
you
fly.
imagine being like an eagle and just being soaring above everything else? A beautiful valley, a nice wooded area, the ocean, a big lake,
Yeah.
cigar in your mouth, and you're just able to soar above everything and just say, screw it.
Yep. Right on. Leave the world for a while.
I will say
That's
this
right.
is totally off subject, but that's what we do here. I saw a bald eagle yesterday chase off a herd of like 10 geese, and then it picked off a rabbit right after that, and I'm like, fucking America, man. It was awesome.
Yep.
That thing was so badass. But anyway, sorry, back to question.
No, you're good.
All right. So, question number 8. What special skill or talent do you have that no one knows about? And you cannot say OnlyFans.
No, I don't have that. No, nobody would. They pay me not to show it. I would say I love to draw and I love to paint, and so some of that comes through when I do some of the the graphic work, which has been a real nice release for me. So I get excited about doing projects, but it's the artistic side of things that people don't know. That if I had more time and someday in the future, I'd love to get back to painting and drawing and stuff like that.
It's one of my favorite hobbies too, man.
Before you go into your next question, go ahead. That's what I was about to say. Go for it.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'll let you see what gets in it.
So going into somebody who also enjoys painting, our brother over here, Mick, is a fantastic painter. I will let him send you some of the artwork that he's done, but I commissioned him when we first met I sent him some pictures of the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge out in Charleston. That is mine and my wife's home away from home. And if you take the picture I sent him versus the painting that he did, my wife thought it was a printed picture.
Wow.
Every street light that is on that bridge, you can count the number of street lights on that bridge and count the number of street lights on his painting. You can count the number of support cables,
The guidelines. Yeah.
in the picture, and you can count the number of support cables in that painting. It is identical. I mean, the measurements between it. And I told him the color scheme that I wanted. I wanted to go in her office, and he had a trip that he had to go on, and he purposely stopped at my business just to drop that off. And it was the first time he and I ever met. He came in, shook my hand.
Yeah.
Here's your painting, gave me a hug, and said, "Brother, I got to go."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I couldn't charge a brother much, but he got me some of my favorite cigars as well. So it was and honestly, I feel bad for charging him anything at this point because he does so much for this show. But yeah, I got away from it for a long time because I was busy with coaching and work and life. But man, I'm getting back into it. It's just it's a slow process. I do some special stuff for people I care about, so it's cool, man.
That's fantastic.
I appreciate the kind words, Charles. I'll send you some pics.
He reached out to me and told me, "Hey, brother." I mean, we had just kind of met about 6 months previous, and we got a good connection with him. The officers that's in TriStar, and we had a space open up in the West Tennessee that we needed an officer to fill. Every officer was like, yes, let's put Mick in there. So fast forward a couple of months, he sends me a message and says, "Hey, I looked at all the pictures that you post. Do you have a picture that you love?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, there's one that I'm absolutely in love with." And I sent him that picture and I said, "Why?" He's like, "I really want to get back into painting. It's my spot. That's where I relax." He said, "I want to paint this and send it to you just for your thoughts." That thing hangs in my office right now.
Wow.
Because it was so freaking amazing.
Mick, do you smoke cigars while you paint, or is it independent of each other in terms of,
It's pretty independent. I don't, I've never really tried putting the two together. It's just, when I was young, I was offered a full ride to Philadelphia Art Institute. I passed it up and said I want to make my own way in life. And then I had kids and got married, and here we are, like 30 plus years later, and I still miss it. And I just recently got back into it, dropped a few $100 into art supplies, and it's a good way for me to relax. And I always find ways that I put myself under the gun. No, I think I work better under pressure though. But friends of ours wanted something done, a beach scene for their house. They just moved to a new house in Florida, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done. And I had like a 2-week deadline to get it done. And I worked till like midnight every night working on, because I'm such a damn perfectionist. But no, it's fun, but it does get a little stressful at times because I'm too damn perfectionist. But it's a good time, man.
What medium do you work in, or do you like to work in most?
Man, I'd say my favorite is probably oil, but I haven't been using that as much recently because I like the blending of oil, and I can make the color schemes a lot easier with oil. But acrylic's so much easier to work with. It dries so much quicker. You can layer it if you need to. But yeah, I like charcoal and pen and ink as well, man. I do a lot of drawing as well, but the painting is something I've really fallen back on recently. We're getting way off subject here. I apologize.
No, that's great. That's fantastic.
I've still got some more to talk about this one. This is horrible, but horrible people we are. I will say this. He was talking to you about that beach scene. So we're coming off of my wife seeing the piece that he made for me that hangs in my office. She got surprised on our anniversary. By the way, he did this and had it in time for my anniversary. Wow. And he dropped it off a few days before we were going out of town for mine and my wife's anniversary to Charleston. And so somehow I don't know if it was something that she was following him on Instagram or whatever, but she comes out here and I'm smoking a cigar and she shows me this picture, and it happens to be the painting of that beach scene. And she goes, "Do you know what this is?" And I hadn't seen it yet. And I went, no, but it's a pretty cool picture. She said, that's not a picture. That's a painting. I said, where'd that come from? She said, Mick. And I went, okay. And I already knew what was coming next. She said, message him and see what it would take to recreate that for me as well. And it's like, oh
wow.
shit.
You,
so I sent him a picture
have it-
or a message that said, I need one of these. And I could feel his soul just leave his body.
there's a fence. There's a sand fence for like dunes in that picture. And I believe there's 240 rungs of that fence. And I'm too much of a perfectionist, and it took me forever to get it right the first time. And then they said they wanted it done again, which I have started. I did not. I wanted to tell you that at the Herf the other week. I just didn't have it done in time, and I refused to rush it. So next time I see you, that will be in your possession.
That's great.
I will tell you the same thing I told you before. I'm in no rush. After the last two paintings, I'm in no rush. Just take care of it. Going back into artwork, and we have strayed so far off of this, and this doesn't go. This has never gone this far. If you want to go back into artwork, so all these displays at all these lounges that has Lure cigars, and then all the artwork, such as the one that's behind your head. Why don't you tell us who all made that?
Well, this particular thing, I mean, I'm kind of a pack rat. My dad was a guy that we went to garage sales on Saturday mornings, and that's how we spent our time. And he was a pack rat. The car, this truck or whatever I've used in some of the stage photos that we do for some of the cigars and things. I just go around and look at different antique shops and, Hobby Lobby, and I look at different places where they, if I see something that stands out and say, can I put some kind of lure bent on it? This particular fish that's up here, I found these at some shop, and then I just hung the lures that my dad had out of his tackle boxes. And so when he passed away, I inherited all of his, wooden lures and things. And I particularly like the wooden lures more than the plastic stuff because it kind of was, a lot of them were handmade. A lot of them were, handcrafted and things, and I like that aspect of it. So, the displays, I'm doing this kind of as a family thing out of my house, and so I make the displays out of the different wooden boxes. I'll make the wooden boxes, and then I add stickers and I add labels and metal accents to the things, and then I adorn them with the lures. And for a few of the shops that have bigger accounts, what I like to do is I like to put a lure and I personalize it. So like Scenic, they've got one that I put the Scenic logo that was on the one of the larger lures that we had. And it just gives me a creative outlet to be able to. I'm not a woodworker by any means. I mean, I appreciate handmade things, and so it just puts a touch on it that the cigars are a handmade product, and it kind of reinforces that. So I make all those boxes, and thank God I don't have 200 retailers that are knocking down the door, but as long as I can kind of keep up with it, I'll continue to make them, and it just provides that signature of the quality that is in the tobacco is also in the presentation.
Phenomenal. I love it.
I will say that if you haven't seen the setup that he does for the different lounges like that, again, it was one of the things I told Rob that I was going to sneak out of the place with that thing under my shirt because they look that fantastic. So let's jump back into the hot box questions. We are almost done with them, and we just spent 20 minutes diverging from this, which I'm not saying is a bad thing because I will say that the master of stories is with us tonight. And I mean, I will definitely want to do another podcast with Lou on here because, again,
hell yeah,
I have chalked him up to the master of stories. And I absolutely love diving deep into just stuff that's not wrapper, binder, filler, but it's life stories that makes you think, makes you have a good time. So, Mick, go ahead and jump into the next one, buddy. Sorry.
All right. So here's one of my favorites because I love the reaction. Would you rather accidentally send a nude picture to your mom or your boss?
My boss. Yeah, we have a good working relationship, very good working relationship, and he might use it against me in some other place, but I can tell you, I would not want my mom to receive one of those by any means. Nope.
I always say that my mom's 90 and she'd have no idea how to open a text message. So I'd be fine.
Yeah. My mom would go, how do I open this picture on my phone? Don't worry about
Delete.
it, Mom. Oops, delete. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh, I'd throw the phone in the lake. Oh, sorry.
I dropped it and accidentally stepped on it and then kicked it. And I'm sorry. I'll buy you a new one.
Right, definitely.
All right. So the last question, and it's my absolute favorite. And so I will give you some time to think about it if you need it.
All right.
What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
Well, I will tell you that I didn't appreciate it when I first heard it and heard it for the 100th time. But my grandfather, my dad's dad, when he came over from off the boat from Italy, he didn't speak very much English, but he was very simple. And when I was a kid, he would, we would go, they lived when I was a young kid, they lived in Port Richey, Florida, which is down in kind of Clearwater area, Central Florida on the coast. And that's where I knew him. He had lived in Milwaukee and Racine and Kenosha, Wisconsin, and that area. And then they moved to California and moved back to Kenosha. But when they left Kenosha and they went down to Port Richey, they had been from Italy, so they were looking for more of that climate that was similar to that southern Italy area. And so that's where they were. And when we were kids, we would go over to their house. And as they aged, we would go there more frequently. And they would call my dad in the middle of the night, hey, you got to come mow the lawn tomorrow. And they just assumed he was going to drop what he was doing, and then they would come out and do their thing. Well, he would always have a $5 bill in his pocket when we would go over there. And that was a lot of money to them. And so when we would come in, and the first thing we'd do, he'd be in his chair, a little recliner that he had, and the TV was jacked up on whatever the volume, the maximum. And we would turn the TV down, and we'd walk over to him, and he'd come here, and he would reach in his pocket, and he would give you a $5 bill, and then he would give you a piece of advice. And the piece of advice he would say would be something that somehow he had learned in English, but I'm sure it was translated, from wherever he heard it from when he was a kid. And he said, one thing at a time, and that had done well, is a very good rule, as a many can tell. And I was like, okay, you can rhyme. That's cool. Whatever. Thanks, Grandpa. And I'd take my $5 and, go. And, we live in a world where there's so much multitasking and there's so much celebration of being busy. And there's so much things like people get addicted to being busy. And when you think and stop to think about it, multitasking is overrated. And when you stop to think about how to do something right and do something well, don't do it half measured. Don't do it half assed. Take the time to do it right the first time, and then you don't have to do it again. And I think that piece of advice is one of those things that I have to stop sometimes when I've got, doing different things with cigars or doing different things with the family or whatever it is. Just slow down, focus on getting a task, get that task accomplished, and you'll be better off for it. So I'm going to give you one thing at a time, and that done well is a very good rule, as a many can tell.
Love it.
That's freaking awesome. That's probably one of the best ones that I've heard.
Yeah, same. Phenomenal.
So before we wrap this up, I will have to say, you have mentioned things about your family, coming over from Italy and things about your dad. I mean, Mick always likes to say, hey, I'm about to put Charles on the spot by saying something that we haven't talked about. So I'm going to put him on the spot and say something we haven't talked about. I would love to get you back on here. And yeah, let's talk about what's going on with cigars. But I want to hear more stories. If you're up for it, I would love to get you on sometime first of next year to listen to more stories. Just, whether it was your family, how you're, more along the lines of you and your relationship with your dad and cigars and things like that. But just hear more stories because, as you say, talk tall tales.
Yep. No, that's what it's all about. I mean, every time you get together for a herf, whether it's virtually or in person, I love getting together with people in person because you can sit down there and you take an interest in somebody's day. I appreciate that. I would love to hang out with you guys at any time, and I look forward to hanging out with the Tri-State Herf crew as well. Because on Tuesdays when you get together, I just haven't had a chance to get back around. But you know, there's Discord herfs that I hop on, through Luxury Cigar Club and through Dirty Ash Community and through Deadly Cigar Society. You know, these are places that I pop in because I love seeing the people and I love hearing the stories and ask them how their day's going. And I love to talk and I love to share stories. But, when you weave that and you realize you're not alone and there's other people that are going through life. And when you share some of that life experience, you really can find out that it's like a virtual lounge, in this type of venue, whether it be a podcast or a herf that you have, is a great way to connect with people. And I just really like people. So absolutely. I'd be glad to hang out with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to come and tell some of my stories. Appreciate that you guys willing to smoke the cigars. It means a lot. So
pleasure's all ours, brother.
Jordan says Lou should be a rotating guest at least once a month.
You guys will get bored with that, but I'd be happy to hang out with you. I love hearing other people's stories too. I mean, that's so we didn't really dive into your hobbies.
Jordan is one of our California guys for TriStar, and so like I told you in the herf, I'm too lazy to change the address, the link to it. So you're more than welcome to jump on anytime and just hang out. And like we tell anybody, you come in and hang out. You're not Lou of Lure Cigars. You're just Lou. So come hang out with us.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
And your family.
Yeah, appreciate that.
100%.
You guys made me feel very welcome. And, it's always good to meet new people and make those connections for sure. And if you're ever in Tallahassee, Florida, or ever in the neighborhood, don't hesitate to look me up, Mi Casa Su Casa. Got plenty of cigars to smoke, and I've got good bourbon and stuff. I don't drink that much anymore myself, but I always keep a good stash for other folks that enjoy a good drink and good coffee. So whatever, absolutely. So you bet.
That's a good host right there. Cigars and bourbon.
There you go. So Lou, to close things out, we absolutely enjoyed having you on here. Do us a favor, let everybody know where they can find you everywhere on social media. Let everybody know where they can find your cigars on anybody's website. Give us the rundown. The floor is yours. Let us know how we can find you. Let everybody know how they can smoke a Lure cigar.
Well, I mentioned several of the retailers, and I didn't mean to leave anybody out, but you can go to our website, lurecigars.com. Go to our contact us page, and there's a list of our retailers that we have. Everybody's got either cigars in the shop or they have an online presence. Many of them that don't have an online presence you can call them and they will ship. But if you happen to be nearby, go in and stop in and say, I'm looking for Lure. If you haven't been to a retailer that doesn't have Lure, please encourage them to reach out. I would love to be able to have more people that we can network with. You can follow us along on Instagram at Lure Cigars, and that's at Lure Cigars all strung together. That's where I put most of my effort is to our Instagram. I don't have a Facebook page for the business just because it's just one more thing to do, but the Instagram is popular, and then on Discord, hang out in different cigar groups. Reach out, shout out. I'm on Discord, Lou Cross 3. So. But please, support the Real Smoke podcast, support the other podcasts that are out there that have given us some time and attention and shared our stories, and collaborate. If you post, please post and tag us. I'd love to collaborate on posts when you're smoking Lure. Love to hear the feedback. So really appreciate everybody's time and attention, and smoke great cigars and tell tall tales.
Phenomenal. Yeah, man. I'll say my little piece here, man. Like I said, I love that stick. I'm going to be finding quite a few more before they disappear. Just want to sit on a couple, it makes me feel better. One of my favorite ones from this year, sitting there for a little bit, but, no, man, like I said, just connecting with you and, really I agree with Charles 100%. We'd love to have you on again next year. Maybe, mid-spring sometime. We'll figure it out, and we'll see what else you got new going on, and maybe dive a little deeper on some of the subjects. But man, it was phenomenal having you tonight. We appreciate you greatly.
Thank you.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, let's thank everybody let's thank Lou for jumping on here and everybody else for jumping on here. We still have a few giveaways going for Beard Apothecary as well as Bovida tonight. But Lou, I want to thank you, just like Mick said, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here. I absolutely loved when you jumped on here or jumped on with us with TriStar Herf Crew, and love the fact that you jumped on here with us. I know you said that you're going to be at the event in Ashland, Kentucky. So that may be something that Mick and I start looking at, and maybe we can come up there and talk to you and hang out with you a little bit and check out the other different people that's up there. So want to thank you so much for jumping on here. And at the end of this, we're going to go ahead and probably do some more giveaways once we end things with you, but we will also do the cigar review. So you're more than welcome to jump back and check out the video later on, and we'll send you all the links to the review that we did. And feel free to absolutely just look at it and go, I don't understand what you guys are saying, or look at it and go, okay, cool, it's good review. So thank you so much for jumping on with us.
The time and attention. Oh, my pleasure. It's been my pleasure. I enjoy it. I'm going to go hang out with watch it on YouTube the rest of the way, and I appreciate you guys' time. So look forward to hearing your feedback, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, brother. Much love.
Thank you, sir.
See you, bud. Man, what a great guest.
I have no words. I mean, for somebody who always has words for something, the guy always leaves me going, I just want more stories. Just keep talking.
We knew what we were getting after having him on TriStar, but at the same time, I think this was as good or better. I mean, and some of them were the same, the stories we heard, but we wanted to share with everybody else. But man, they're just as fucking good the second time. Like, Jesus, this guy can tell a story. I want to sit down and have a cigar with him in person and just sit around and bullshit all night. That's what I want to do. Phenomenal.
I kept wanting to jump in here with all the comments that's coming in, but
so many good ones.
As comments were coming in, Lou's in the middle of a story, and I'm like, there's not a chance that I'm going to jump in here and interrupt this, because I mean, these guys probably want to hear the story, but at the same time, I want to hear the story, because some of them we've actually heard before in, the HERF, but at the same time, it's one of those ones where at this time that I'm going through with my family, just listening to him talk about his dad. I mean, I'm sitting back. I mean, there was a couple of times I sit back in my chair and just was like, I just got to take this in. And as well as anybody who watched this, I'm usually right here, ready for the mic. I'm ready for the next question. And I just had to sit back and was like, man, there is not many other brands that have a purpose and a reasoning behind what he's done.
Yeah. I will say, I know he touched on it. I know I've touched on it in the past, and how I fell in love with cigars and just those moments you share, right? But he touched on it tonight, that some of the great cigars is that experience you're having, or the people you're with while you're having it. And to me, like 30% probably of how you love a cigar, 30-40% is the actual cigar. the next 30% might be the owner and what goes behind it. You know what I mean? And the other 30% is completely the experience and where you're at while you're having the cigar that really ties everything together. And it's just an amazing, and I think he hits all three of those notes pretty spot on.
Just think about, okay, let's bring it back to something that's more personal to us. Think about the last Herf in Nashville.
Yeah.
How many of the cigars can you remember smoking?
2 or 3.
But how many of the conversations can you remember having while we had those cigars? I had 9 cigars in that entire day. I can give you 4 or 5 that I may have had. The rest of them, I don't remember. I know that they were good, but I can tell. I mean, me and Jennifer have talked about the different conversations and the different experiences that we had during that Herf, where between the fact of sitting inside to sitting outside to the people that was there. It wasn't necessarily the cigar. It was the moments that we were spending together. And he 100% hit on that note. It wasn't
100%.
the cigar. It was the experience that you were having with the person that you were with.
100%, man.
I mean,
I appreciate that.
His story locked it up better than anything that I could ever say.
Agreed. Yeah, there's not much of a better way to top that, but spot on, Lou. We love what you're doing. It's bringing people together. Cigars have brought all of us together, brought me and Charles together, and we're doing this now. But meeting people like you meeting people like Lou along the way, fuck, man, added bonus. It's just incredible. So many great people out there, and we all share those common loves and amazingly a lot of the same train of thought, and how we live our lives. So it's not trying to get too deep, but man, it's he hit it nail on the head. It was incredible.
Oh yeah. Well, see, one thing that I love that we do on here, and it 100% went to the hot box questions. We talk about trying to be real smoke. It comes from your previous experience in podcasting, the Real Minutes, and mine, just Instagram photo smoking oak. So we put it together for Real Smoke. We wanted to keep it real smoke, real cigars, real people, real smoke.
100%.
We got in the middle of a hot box question that we have normally just ran through just like everybody else. And we took a 20-minute detour somewhere in there and was just talking. Do I feel bad about that? I only feel bad about the listeners, but at the same time, I'm good with it because I got so much information from that. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I have no expectations ever of exactly how a show is going to go. Like we said before, we have a little bit of a format that we like to try to stay within time restraints and what have you. But I don't care where it goes, man. It's just a great time with people we care about. And it's awesome.
Jordan says it best. He says, I am okay with you not reading comments. The stories were way better. The dude is a master of stories.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have had some great people on the podcast, I mean, we are at podcast number 9. I mean, just number 9, but we've had some great people on. There's not many more storytellers that have been just as good as what we've had tonight. So that was pretty great.
Oh yeah. And talk about keep making our job easy. I mean, honestly, we usually we have to do some other little questions along the way to keep things moving. Yeah, not tonight. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not bashing anything. It was awesome. It was incredible.
I mean, if you wanted to talk about any other cigar brand that comes on any podcast, take a note from this.
Yeah.
If you are whether you are a person that does stuff that's with a club, or you do stuff on IG, or you do stuff that is a podcast related thing like this, if you're jumping on there, let me tell you, the host does not think twice on what they're going to do if you're just willing to talk.
Yep.
100%.
100%. 100%.
So I know we just inflated Lou's head to about this big. But
good luck getting in your house
we
tonight,
do have
buddy.
a cigar to review. We do have a cigar to review. And as we have started, you're going first.
All right. Here we go.
I cannot wait for this.
The brown E-Trap. So cold draw, pre-light. I got a little bit of barnyard, light cocoa, and some almond. The first third, I got fudge brownie, light cinnamon, maybe a little bit of warm earthy notes, and some more toasted almond. Second third, I got a little bit of coffee, dark chocolate, baking spices, and a little bit of black pepper in the back end on the retro. Light espresso notes in the final third, some more of the baking spices, baker's chocolate, seemed to get a little darker, a little heavier as it went, and a little bit more of the black pepper. Thick velvety smoke throughout. Definitely no lack of smoke throughout this cigar. Pre-light experience, I gave it a 13 out of 15. Flavor, I gave it a 23 out of 25. Smoking characteristics, a 23 out of 25. I had light touch-ups, nothing major throughout, but it was really great construction. Ash held well. My overall impressions, I gave it a 33 out of 35, and I gave it a 92.
Oh, wow. All right, so as always, I do the Cigar Public version of the cigar review, so bear with me and let's get through it together. So on the Lure Cigar, Brown E Trout, body, slight musty tobacco, Snicker bar. I got that Snicker bar right in there. The foot, sweet tobacco, dark fruit, cold draw, tobacco and raisins. First third, on the light, dry cocoa powder, slight earth, retro was cocoa powder, hints of nuts and spice. Good draw, medium tight resistance. Into the first third, primary notes are big and bold, well done chocolate fudge brownie side piece. And when he said that it was talking about the corner piece of the fudge brownie, I was so validated in that because it 100% what I was getting. So dark chocolate fudge brownie side piece with a slight nutty note followed by a little earth. Retro brings a dark chocolate baking spice with a bit of cinnamon tingle. Smoke is thick and creamy, full. Burn is straight, stacking dimes. Draw is fine, a little tight, medium strength. Second third. Into the second, ash holds tight, burn fantastic. Draw has loosened up a bit and is now a lot better. Notes up front is a dark chocolate brownie met with an almond note. The earth is still there, but fading into the background. Coffee note is starting to make an appearance. A slight bready note round out the cigar. The retro is cinnamon, a dark chocolate with a slight fresh bread note. Medium to long finish, medium strength. Smoke is thick and creamy and coats the mouth. Ash held all the way into the final third. Into the final third, all the flavors are dark, deep, and bold. Notes up front are a dark baker's chocolate, espresso, and earth, followed by a slight oak note. Retro is earth, baking spice, and a slight black pepper. A slight cream sweetness in the distance is nice. The oak note shows up every now and then. The burn is excellent, and the ash still holds and stacks dimes. Great draw. Smoke is thick and full. Starts to get warm, but not bad. Medium strength. Construction, I gave it a 19 out of 20. Draw, a 14 out of 15. Burn, 14 out of 15. Flavor complexity, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyability, a 19 out of 20. Smoke output and texture is a 5 out of 5. overall experience, a 4 out of 5. Strength is a minus. Intensity is a medium plus, for a total of a 93.
Damn. I did not think you'd beat me on that one. That's awesome. We are right there, man.
So what'd you give it?
92. So that's an average of 93 because we round up, correct?
Yep, 93. So just to make the little thing, 92 plus 93 divided by 2. Is a 92.5, which bumps it up because it's a 0.5 to a 93. So, Lou, I don't know if you're listening to this. 100%, you just got a 93 from the Real Smoke podcast. Congratulations. Great job. Absolutely love this cigar.
That was our top rated rating as a combined rating for Real Smoke podcast.
Is it?
It is.
So as of 2024, this is our number 1 cigar of the year.
It is right now. Hell
and
yeah.
It's an LE.
Yeah. That's why I need to stock up. That's why I need to stock up on these, man. I honestly put that right there with how much I enjoyed the red meat lovers. It like that to me, like those flavor profiles, it's what I look for in a cigar. And it was man, the brownie trout, I got to find some more of those to stash them. It was unbelievable.
Well, see, I will agree with you on the whole red meat lovers. The one thing that I would put the Red Meat Lovers Club a little above is because I get all the chocolate notes, I get all the bready notes, but I also get a lot of the pepper. And that pepper helps round it out just a little bit more and gives it a little bit more strength. So I may put that, I mean, blind reviewing it, I don't know. But in my head, it may be just a tad above, or it could be about even. But Jordan says, cold draw, fresh cut grass in the can, velvety smoke throughout, great construction. Only one minor touch up ended with a smoke, ending up smoking the bad because I wasn't paying attention. Gave it a 93.
Is that English?
Well, no, it's German. So he gave it a 93. We gave it a 93 as well. So
all right, Jordan.
Awesome job.
Oh,
100%.
Before I forget, I don't know, Charles, what your weekend looks like, and you may not know what your weekend looks like yet because some stuff going on there. But Jordan has you remember I said, I think it was on our first or second podcast when we had Silent Hero, we were going to do the Candela. I have one sitting here. Jordan reached out last night and he said, hey, when are we doing that Candela? We're going to try to do it this weekend. And I'd like to invite you and
Sunday.
Bryce on Sunday. Jordan, you good for Sunday? We can probably, I can do it Sunday.
Saturday, I'm going to Chattanooga to go visit my mom.
Okay.
So, if you guys can do it Sunday, I will try to be on Sunday. If not, just go for it. But I have to be in Chattanooga Saturday to go see my mom. So really quickly, we have two more giveaways to give away. I know we run long, but
we can scrap Meanwhile in Memphis if you want, because the stories aren't great tonight, and I kind of want to revamp it for the bye week. So if you want to scrap it tonight, I'm good with it.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right, so I think we can run through the Meanwhile in Memphis really quickly. I mean, it's all good.
Okay.
We've already passed our normal time zones or a normal time spot. So let me get rid of Jordan's thing on here. He says Sunday is good. Bryce wants to join as well. So we do have, this is for the Beard Apothecary. If you win this, it is, you have a choice between a car diffuser or beard oil. So let's go ahead and start collecting, draw a name, and if my name pops up, sorry. I'm just going to keep it. Just kidding. Oh,
Well, that's kind of crazy.
we will go ahead and pass on that because living the beard and chubby life again and see where this goes. Sorry. Rob the Cigar Czar.
All
So
right.
Rob gets the beard stuff. So Rob, I will reach out to you. You pick out which one you want, and we will get to you. And the last one of tonight is going to be the humidor starter kit from Boveda. So this comes with all the things that you need to get together to get your humidor, in perfect condition. Let's see who wins. Dan. What's all? We can already get the stuff to him, but Dan wins the Boveda pack. So that's pretty awesome. So tonight we actually had 5 giveaways.
That's crazy.
The most
Where'd
that we've
that come
ever
from?
had. Yeah. So really quickly, we had Aldi won 2 Jollies and 3 brownies from Lure Cigars. We had Dustin win a hat, a shirt, and some cigars. And then we had Pandemic Cigar Pod win 10-pack of Mean Gene. I wish I would have won that one because that would have been great, but I'm not entered. We had Rob win the items from Beard Apothecary and Dan win the Boveda packs. So that is absolutely awesome. Awesome job. Love it. Congratulations to everybody who won.
Yeah, I'm going to send you some money for shipping or something.
Real quick. Let's just say thank you, one, for Lou for Lure Cigars to giving 3 great packs of swag and cigars. But also, we have to thank Beard Apothecary for donating all the beard products for everybody who has won. And for somebody who jumped on here and did not ask for anything, they were just like, hey, just give out some good stuff. Boveda, thank you so much for jumping on here and being willing to give out some product to just all of our great listeners. So thanks to everybody on here for being willing to give out great products to some great people.
Yeah, phenomenal. We could not ask for a better little assist with stuff. And Rob, what's up, buddy? Congrats, man. Rob wins every week. Let's play Rob wins again.
Yeah, that's the new game. Rob wins again.
I love it.
So really quickly, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and do. I mean, we're already over time. People who want to listen can listen. Those who jump off. And if you're listening on Spotify, please, for the love of God, at least like the show because dang, Spotify is kicking our ass right now.
Yeah, everything else is growing steadily, but man, Spotify.
Let's go into Meanwhile in Memphis, brought to you by TriStar Herf Crew. Check them out at tristarherfcrew.com as well as on Instagram at TriStar Herf Crew.
All right, so I got a couple quick ones for you tonight. Man accused of shooting squatter who refused to leave his yard. Yeah. Memphis, Tennessee. A man is accused of shooting a squatter who refused to leave his property. He is charged with aggravated assault. Memphis police responded to a shooting November 17th, so like 4 days ago, at around 3 a.m. Officers spoke to a man who said he was shot in the leg by the suspect. I'm not going to say the name. The suspect told police he told him to get the fuck out of my yard, and the man refused. On the third time that he told him to get the F out of his yard, the suspect shot once into the ground, but the squatter still refused to move, saying he lived there and he wasn't moving. This is when the guy shot the man in the leg, police said. He told the police, he told the suspect, now, this is the suspect speaking, told the police that he could not see his hands or face, so he just shot. Yeah. The suspect is on a $75,000 bail and set to appear in court this coming Tuesday.
Dang it, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby. Dang it.
I just don't know why.
It makes me want to move to Memphis.
It's every day. All right. So I'm going to go with the long one here. I know that's what she said. Let's see. All right. So I don't know if this is national news or not, but it all ties back to Memphis, so we're going to go with it. So a Texas woman is sentenced for hiring a Memphis couple to murder a woman in Mississippi. Is this something you've heard about, or is this, I don't know if it's local or what?
Nope.
It sounds like a I don't know, the start of a Lifetime movie or something. I really don't know. All right.
Next on Hallmark.
Yeah, there you go. So in Memphis, Tennessee, a Dallas, Texas woman was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for her part in a murder for hire conspiracy that, if successful, would have resulted in the death of a South Haven, Mississippi woman. As always, I'm going to try and leave names out of this, but it's probably going to get confusing. According to the United States Attorney's Office, this woman ran an internet-based business, and in 2021, she had a falling out with a woman from South Haven who operated a similar business. Yeah. Reports say that the suspect was creating fake online content criticizing her business. The two women never met in person.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. It doesn't say what the business was, so it very well could be.
OnlyFans.
In 2022, the woman contacted a Memphis woman that she knew and asked her and her husband to fly to Dallas to discuss a business opportunity. The woman and her husband flew to Texas. Hey, who just hops on a fucking plane? I mean, all right. Flew to Texas the next month to speak with her and her husband.
What the fuck?
She reportedly asked a couple to kill 3 people, including the South Haven woman.
Oh shit.
This woman's ex-boyfriend, and a Texas woman who had recently made a negative social media comment on her page.
Emotional damage.
She was willing to pay the couple $20,000 per killing, according to the U.S. Attorney's
Holy
Office.
shit.
Yeah. On September 10th.
She was pissed.
Oh, yeah. For making a negative social media comment. All right. On
I
September
don't like
10th.
what you said on Instagram. My cigars are better than that. You're going to die.
20 grand. The Memphis couple recorded a call from this woman where she confirmed that she wanted the South Haven woman killed as soon as possible, stating if the couple carried out the killing within the next week, she would add another $5,000. That's a good one. Reports say the couple sent her a picture of police lights from an unrelated incident and stated that they had tried to kill the woman but were unsuccessful. They then demanded $10,000 for the attempt, which was half the promised price. The couple flew to Dallas and collected the $10,000 from her and her husband. After they got the $10,000, they came home and they reported him to the police, and it's been an ongoing investigation ever since. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, the Memphis couple in this one was probably the smartest out of the 3.
Memphis. That was the best story that you've done.
Live social media
from
comment.
Memphis. Mick. Listen, You said my husband had nice pants, so I'm gonna kill your ass, and it's all gonna be good.
Yeah, I got to dig into that one a little deeper because there's got to be some more backstory. That it's going to be on like true crime really soon. It'll be one of those made for TV movies. I promise you.
It's literally going to be somebody who's like, this bitch just said my husband has like nice shoes, and I didn't like it because that was disrespectful to me, and I'm just going to kill her ass.
You were on it tonight, brother. You should do some of the voiceovers for it. Good stuff.
That bitch is going to die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this Amish straw and I'm gonna stab it in her trachea, and she gonna die.
10,000 for the attempt, man. That one got me, and they're like, "Yeah, fly down and grab it." I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, it's perfect. I mean,
it's unbelievable. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that one.
I'm
It's
so
kind of
glad
like
that I told you to go ahead and I'm so glad that I told you to go ahead and read that, because that is literally the best story in the Meanwhile in Memphis that you've done.
I appreciate it. It's a good. That's a good one.
Holy shit! So,
glad you enjoyed it, brother.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, and I am sadly scarred from the whole idea that this could actually happen, because why?
Yeah,
please God,
social media
why.
comments. Yeah, unbelievable.
She got on Facebook Marketplace, and I was trying to sell a bassinet, and she looked at it and said my bassinet sucked, and it was like, that bitch gonna die because this bassinet cost me $24.99 at Walmart, and I'm just gonna kill her because she said she wanted $14.95 for it. My kid only shit in it 3 times.
So watch this. I'm calling someone from Memphis
for it.
Yeah, so watch this. I'm going to call somebody from Memphis. 20 grand. Here we go.
That's fucking stupid.
All
right.
Yeah.
So at least
Great
we
night.
had good stories. Yeah.
All good stories. Great night.
I will say this. Thanks, Lou, for jumping on here. It was a freaking great interview. I mean, one of my favorite that I've had on here. We have a lot of stuff that we did tonight. We gave a lot of good stuff away. I know tomorrow that I have a lot of catching up with a lot of people who's going to get some great either swag or cigars and shit like that. So congratulations to everybody who won. Really quickly, let's go ahead and thank you, Belladama, for being the first people to jump on the Hatapalooza. I will post this sometime in the next few days. And if you want the Belladama Hatapalooza hat, we will post out there how you can get that one. And the way we're going to do those is just by helping out our Instagram page as well as our YouTube page. And it's just to help us out. You're going to get a free hat. So help us out. Thank you to Belladama for sending me my Players Club hat. I absolutely enjoy that one because as one of the original members of the Players Club, I'm super happy that I got a hat. So,
hell yeah.
Anything else you want to add into tonight?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo you, man. Thank you to everybody. And yeah, Charles, I'll help you out in some of that shipping. It seems like you're a regular post office right now. We'll get that figured out. But now, thank you to everybody who's been supporting us, and the followers keep going up. The interactions with people that are in the community are going up. It's something. It's a labor of love. I enjoy getting all that, and it's a lot to keep up with. But man, we really enjoy all the feedback and people supporting us on this journey. We're not even at 10 episodes. We can celebrate 10 in a couple of weeks here. So
We have been on here for 2 hours and 25 minutes, and we still have people on Instagram and Facebook watching.
Wow.
So you guys who are still on there after 2 hours watching us, I am absolutely sorry.
But they did get to see Meanwhile in Memphis. So, but no, for real, thank you, everyone.
Oh yeah,
I will let everybody out, and but no, Lou, we love you. It was a great one. We will absolutely have you back on, man, and we appreciate you as a person and your brand. Great sticks, man. That brownie trout is just outstanding. So possible Real Smoke Cigar of the Year right there. So we appreciate you, and much love to everybody out there. Appreciate it.
So to end things out, the Real Smoke podcast is featured by the Real Smoke Pod. You can find us at Real Smoke Pod on Instagram. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Smoke Pod. Listen to us on Spotify at Real Smoke Podcast. Special thanks to our sponsors, Cigar Public at cigarpublic.com, or find us on Instagram at Cigar Public. Beard Apothecary, find them at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. TriStar Herf Crew, you can find us on tristarherfcrew.com or on Instagram at TriStar Herf Crew. And as our first Hatpalooza person, you can check out Belladama at BelladamaCigars.com or online or on Instagram at Belladama Cigars. So thanks to everybody who jumped on here and participated with us tonight and listened to a great interview. We hope to see you guys on next, or actually not on next week, because next week is Thanksgiving. So we are taking a bye week next week. We will happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We will post stuff on there and on our social medias and stuff like that, but we will not be on next week. Our next guest will be December 5th, and we will have Justin and Crystal with Shafio Collection Cigars, and we will be smoking the Freedom Fighter Lancero. So jump on with us December 5th, and hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Do your best to spend it with everybody in your life that you love and enjoy, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Much love, fam.
Take it easy, guys.
Mick and Charles with the firelight glow. Cigars in hand, watch the embers slow. Talking life and whiskey, it's a show. Real smoke rides the breeze just so. A puff of wisdom with a sip of fun, guiding through the shadows till the day is done. Inhale the stories, let the laughter run. Real smoke's how all the good times are spun. With a draw and a swirl, watch the worries fade. Mick and Charles got the cool parade. Cigars and tales and whiskey serenade. Real smoke where your troubles are mislaid.